the law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see, out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, wolves in my heart, my city on the map. I was in the field, you're sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Settle it. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down on the ground, now I'm up for the fight. I'm on it. Seaside at the dark, now it's into the light. Alpha mode down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Done dirt, but my crep stay clean. Send for me, rude boy, how you mean? Look at my tongue with the verses. King cheating him and I'm on the first with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Deathmatch like your family's in hearses. The law of this jungle, we're running forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. You see out here in this jungle, we're running forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
A very good evening and welcome to tonight's Home of Football. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me here at Selhurst Park is the former Wolves women defender Claire Hageman. And as you can see, watching from his beautiful home, all that money that he earned in his long, illustrious career has paid off delightfully for the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson. What's that artwork behind you there, Tomo?
Yeah,
a couple of million, didn't it?
It's that artwork you did for me, mate. That's what it is.
We'll get into a lot of other stuff, don't you worry. Between now and kick-off, we'll talk a little bit about Ruben Neves, specifically after his match-winning contribution, and a lot of discussion about the team very shortly from here at Selhurst Park. But let's just quickly have a view on the weekend. Claire, I'll come to you first. A bit of discussion amongst a few people in the press room here before we came on air, and theme, Claire, that it wasn't the prettiest of games, but it was quite fun to watch, and we won, and that's the best thing we can take away from it.
Yeah, fun to watch is something, but that second half was fairly stressful, I'm not going to lie. We made it difficult, as I don't think it had to be as difficult as it was second half to see that game out once we scored the penalty, but you know, it's kind of something that we've kind of been doing it over the past few years anyway, so that's what we're used to. But the main thing and the most important bit is that we won. We got 3 points on the board. We got a clean sheet, which is fantastic. And I think the big thing for me was seeing that passion from the bench, every player, Steve Davis, James Collins, just to see how passionate they all were about getting that 3 points, about how much it meant to them as a squad. And you saw that real unity and team spirit that maybe we haven't seen over the last month or so, but you could really see it, players dropping to their feet, just how much it actually meant to them and how hard that they've been working for that result. Yeah, and Tomo, the big thing, like I say, was to win the game, but to try and build a little bit of confidence. And sometimes all you can do for that is to win football matches.
Yeah, it is. And that's right. At the end of the day, I said to you before the game, it was not about the performance. It was about the result. And so, look, it wasn't the best of games. At the moment, so, look, it was two teams that were struggling for a result and 3 points. And we were fortunate that we got the 3 points. And that was the main thing for me. Great save from Saar on the penalty, which allowed us to get the 3 points. But, yeah, it was all about the result for me. It was all about getting that win and making sure that we did get something out of the game.
Because is it too early, Tomo, to have described it as a relegation 6 points? I mean, if Wolves win tonight, then I know obviously everybody else has got to play in the days to come, but technically we can move up to 12th tonight with a win. So, you know, everything is so congested still at this stage.
Yeah, it is. And like I say, it's a lot of the teams say everybody's been beating everybody. You saw at the weekend, Man City losing as well to Liverpool. And that's how it started off this league this year. So, but the thing is, though, we had to get a win. I said to you, was it last week? I think we've got to look at least 6 points out of the remainder of the games for the World Cup shutdown. And we got the 3 points there. It's going to be difficult tonight, but so by all means we can go out there and try and get those 3 points again with Leicester at home on Sunday as well. So it's in our own hands. We've got to try and get something out of those games, say going into that break for the World Cup.
Because I don't think anybody, Claire, is saying that we shouldn't be aware of the situation in which we found ourselves. And obviously the club made an important decision to move on from Bruno Lage and to look for somebody else to take the club forward. But, and it's a key important point to make, that the table is congested, and that if you can get on a good, consistent run of form, all of a sudden things could look very differently by the World Cup.
Yeah, 100%. I think that first win will give them the confidence that they needed. And I think what would be great now, obviously we'd love to win tonight, but to go on a bit of an unbeaten run with our remaining games. Obviously after the Leicester game, we've got 4 more games. 3 of those are at home, albeit one's against Arsenal. But, you know, there's every chance that we can take some good, valuable points from those games and really go into the international window with full of confidence. And I think that's so important. And it is going to be that kind of league this season. I think there's a little bit of, you know, some players might be saving themselves. You can see some faults in the league table as well. So I think it's all to play for. And we've got some great players here. And I think seeing the way that Ruben Neves has been over, you know, since the start of the season, he's been incredible. And we know what a player he was and what a credit he is to the squad. But the way that he's pulled this squad together and the way that he played on Saturday was superb.
Yeah, we're going to talk a bit about Ruben Neves very shortly. We'll hear from him in just a moment as well after his match-winning contribution on Saturday. We will also hear from Steve Davis talking to our colleague Gemma Frith after that game, and we'll look back on a couple of recent matches between these two as well. As ever, we want to hear from you and let you have your say ahead of kickoff. You can get in touch, use the hashtag Wolves Live on Twitter, at Mikey Burrows, at Wolves. Use the hashtag Wolves Live to get in touch and let us know where you are tuned in and watching us tonight. Your predictions and your thoughts on the general situation in which we find ourselves as well. You likely seen the team news by now. We'll talk about that in just a second as well after we've looked back at the best from Saturday afternoon. Martinho at the base of the centre circle, turning, looking to play it early. Lovely ball for Traore. Traore with a first time clipped in cross. Aït-Nouri arriving with the header. Oh, just ripples the top of the netting. And Aït-Nouri can clear it up towards Podence, who controls on the chest and looks in field and finds Mateus. Traore's calling for it. It's on to Traore, in towards the edge of the penalty area. Traore smashes it goalwards towards the near post. Can't get it on target. Traore, that's clever, over the halfway line for Podence, on early. Costa leaves it for Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri to strike it across the face of goal. Here's Johnny. Podence, good first time flick. Traore up towards the edge of the penalty area, lifts his cross in, good header goalwards off the inside of the post, and somehow it's not in. Oh, it was Kilman who was still forwards. Coutinho's challenge, Aït-Nouri can't get there. Freuler to left-hand side to Gibbs White, edge of the penalty area, trying to curl one towards the far corner, high over the top. Neves was trying to tee it up, but was closed down by Yates, so goes to Martinho. Wide to the right side to Traore. Traore up against Gibbs White, infield on his left foot. Traore to strike it, and it deflects, I think, off Mateus. It's going to be given as a corner. We're just double checking there wasn't a hand in there on that block.
Give it.
Thomas Bramall, penalty! Molineux holds its breath. Neves to strike it, brilliant hit into the bottom corner. The captain shoulders the responsibility and puts his team in front. Gibbs White's corner, right-footed from the left-hand side, whipped in towards the near post and bounced away, and Forrester claiming.
The little scuffle they had, Yates and Nunes, I think it was. Nunes pulled him down.
Well, he's getting his whistle ready, and penalty Nottingham Forest. Referee puts his whistle to his lips. Here comes Johnson. Saved by Jose Sarr! Diving to his left-hand side, and Molineux erupts!
Congratulations, Ruben. That second league win of the season. What was the mood like in the dressing room?
Well, we were really happy. We knew it was an important game for us. We were saying before the game starts it was like a final. Of course, because of the situation we are, and we won the final, so that's always really important for us as a team.
Do you see this like a turning point now for the team for the rest of our season?
I hope so. I think mainly this week we had such a good conversations between us, like as a group, as a club. I think everyone is on the same path now. I think everyone knows what we need to do for this club, because everyone knows as well what the club means to all the people in Wolverhampton. So I think everyone is now on their best, and maybe not on our best in terms of technique. We know we can do a little bit more and be a little bit better, but in terms of attitude, in terms of team spirit, as you saw today, I think it was our best game on that part as well.
Well, the difference today was those 2 penalties, either end of the pitch, you scoring one of them. When you're sort of stepping up for a penalty in that situation, what is going through your mind? Such an important moment.
Well, it's just I just focus on what I have to do. I normally decide I will shoot on the day before the game.
Okay.
If I know, because we normally know if there is a penalty, we normally know who will take it. And as Raul is not playing, I know it's me. So before the game, I decide where I'll shoot, and I train during the week for that. Then I arrive to the game, and I just need to do what I did in training sessions, like focus on the shot and try to score.
Well, then at the opposite end of the pitch here, Jose Sá saving a penalty. I mean, what is it like? It's his second save as well that he's done like that of the season. What is it like to have a player on your team who can pull something out like that of the bag when you need it most?
Well, it was the most important moment of the game, no? I think, like I said to you, in technical terms, we are not in our best. And you saw it after we scored the goal. We struggled a little bit. Of course, when you are in a moment like we are, you get a bit nervous, more nervous than normal. And we conceded a few corners, we conceded a few shots for them. And then Sá just kept us in the game, kept us the 3 points. So it was really important for us.
We've spoken many times before about how important it is when the fans are on top form and what sort of impact it can make on the game. Particularly today, how much did that huge noise they were producing have an impact on you guys?
A lot of impacts, and I was thinking about it during the week as well, because it's so important to have the fans with us, mainly when we are playing at home and in a situation we are. Some clubs, when they are in this situation, the fans just go a little bit down, but not with us. Today was an unbelievable game for us, an unbelievable game for the fans. Thank you for them, because they really support us really well, like you said, really loud. And it's really important for us to feel that spirit around us when we are playing at Molino.
Thank you so much, Ruben, and congratulations again.
Thanks.
He is developing into quite the leader, and I think he was already showing great leadership qualities. I mean, we know he was, I think, Porto's youngest ever captain in the Champions League, Claire, but you listen to him talk now, and there is an added almost aura around him. I don't know whether that's going too far. It seems like he is really stepping up to make sure that armband sits right on him.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's really been superb this season. We don't expect anything less of him, because we know what a player he is. But taking on that armband when obviously we do was a hell of a role to step in. He's been fantastic, and you can tell that the boys are around him as well. And I think he just absolutely, with his performances and his determination, I seen him flying around the box trying to get blocks in left, right, and centre. The desire is absolutely there for everybody to see. There is no denying that, he's leading from the absolute role model for players around him. I think tonight, with Collins being back, I think another leader. I know that Steve Davis has spoken about him in the week being very much another leader to add to the group, and he's been in and around the squad while he's been suspended, and that's fantastic to hear as well, because I think one thing that people were concerned about when we lost Ruddy and we lost Seiss was that we'd lost some of that bit of experience. So it's great to see these young players along with Kilman really step up and help the younger lads out.
I guess there's an element, Tomo, whereby this is Ruben Neves' team now, right? And he has to step up and lead it. And that player that we've all hoped he could be over the last couple of years.
Yeah, as I said, look, he's always been a leader, hasn't he? Especially on the pitch, and now he's doing that off the pitch as well. But you just watch his performances. We've said this for a couple of years now that he's stepped up his game. So, look, his energy around the pitch, his ability with the ball. I still like him to score more goals from probably around the 18-yard box a little bit more than he used to. But
Greedy,
he is
Tom. So
definitely.
greedy.
Oh, we want everything. We want everything. But he is the complete player, though, isn't he? His penalty at the weekend, even though the keeper's gone the right way, he knew what he was doing. He made his mind up early, and he was able to score the goal and start getting that one. But yeah, look, he's stepped up, hasn't he, with Connor Cody going to be the captain on and off the pitch. And he leads by example for me. So look, I think that he's an example to all the young lads who are coming in, that you've got to work hard, you've got to train hard, and you'll get your just rewards.
What's more important as a captain, Tomo? Because you played under some impressive ones in your time. Is it the actual ability on the field? Is it the leadership on the field, leadership off the field? What do you think is the most important when it's that guy with the armband?
I think it's a bit of everything. I think that look, say you don't want somebody you don't necessarily have to have somebody on the pitch who's screaming and shouting at you when things are going well. But when things aren't going too well, is when they basically get the support behind you and encourage you to get on with it, keep going. But yeah, it's all about that combination of everything on and off the pitch. With the way that we had, you saw Ali Robertson the other night when we was at the Molineux. And he was like that. He was hard working, played hard, trained hard, but also as well, what he tried to do is to get people together off the pitch as well. And I think that it does go onto the pitch with that as well, with the players that we had.
Claire, what's most important to you as a captain?
I agree with Tomo, a bit of both. I think on this occasion, he probably is one of our standout players. So obviously, performance-wise, we know that he leads from the front in terms of that. Just as off the pitch, I think he kind of creeps under the radar. I think he seems to be, very much a family man, and I think all the players respect him. They seem to have a really close-knit circle around them when they're outside of football as well, which I think can only in turn build that team spirit. And I think that's really where we've got to get back to, those times where we're really tight as a squad. And I think we really saw that for the first time on Saturday when we got that win. You could really see that everybody was together. Everyone was desperate to get that result. And it was just so, I think everyone just realised the importance of it with how much confidence that result would bring. So it was fantastic. I do think that Ruben Neves is the centre of everything. And when he couldn't play, obviously being suspended at Chelsea, he was, sorely missed. And you could definitely see that in terms of the performance. And having him back on Saturday, he was absolutely flying everywhere. And that's exactly what you expect of Ruben Neves. But he's just a fantastic player and role model.
We will talk team news in just a second. We'll hear from Steve Davis, what he made of the game on Saturday. And we'll try and discuss just how Wolves are going to try and come away with 3 points from Selhurst Park tonight on Matchday Live Extra.
Wolverhampton is a proud and diverse city. Proud of its history and proud of its people. When times are tough and life is challenging, Wolverhampton stands together. At Wolves Foundation, we are the heartbeat of the community. We support thousands of people across the city of all ages and abilities. Half of the people we work with are from areas among the most deprived 10% in the country. We encourage people to become healthier and more active. 92% of our participants have improved their mental and physical well-being. We develop lifelong learning and skills. 90% of our participants have improved their educational achievement. We work hard to build safe, strong, and active communities. 84% of our participants feel they have contributed to a safer, stronger, and more inclusive community. Football is such a powerful sport. It brings us together and drives us forward. At Wolves Foundation, we are proud of our work and proud of our impact. Creating opportunities and changing lives.
We're back with some midweek Premier League action, and tonight we are under the lights at Selhurst Park in the Premier League to face Crystal Palace. Now, our interim manager Steve Davis secured our second win of the season last time out against Nottingham Forest, and his first since he took over a fortnight ago. And tonight is the opportunity for back-to-back wins for the very first time this season. And although Crystal Palace may be 4 spots above us in 13th in the Premier League table, there's currently only 1 point in it, as our form so far this season has been very similar. At the weekend, Patrick Vieira's side saw out a goalless draw against Leicester City, who we face next, making it just 1 win in their last 6 for Palace. Head to head, we've lost our last 3 meetings with the Eagles though. Our last win coming back in 2018 thanks to that Matt Doherty goal that I'm sure we all remember. But since then, we've only managed to come away with 1 point from 3 visits. But hopefully today is an opportunity to turn that form around and build upon our success at the weekend.
Gemma Frith putting this game into context. That is the starting lineup that Steve Davis and James Collins have selected today. And that man on your screen, Boubacar Traoré, starts for the first time since his deadline day arrival from Metz. He's one of 4 changes that the interim coaches have made. Johnny, Totti, Aït-Nouri and Matinho are the 4 who drop out. No Aït-Nouri in the entire matchday squad. He is here, but he did go off with a potential injury towards the end of the game on Saturday, so that might explain why there is a first start for Hugo Bueno in a new look defence that sees the returning Nathan Collins back from suspension. Nelson Semedo comes in to start as well. So Jose Sarr continues in goal, having saved his second penalty of the season. It'll be Semedo, Collins, Maximilian Kilman and Hugo Bueno as a back 4. Ruben Neves, Mateus Nunes and Boubacar Traoré in midfield. Adama Traoré, Diego Costa and Daniel Pedence up top. As you can see, Conor Ronan has come back to be amongst the substitutes. Tomo, I'll come to you first. 4 changes, but 3 of them in the back line. We always knew there was going to be 1 in terms of Collins. Second one looks like it's enforced in terms of Aït-Nouri, but I guess the option was there to play Johnny. Johnny didn't have his greatest game on Saturday, and therefore there must be an awful lot of trust that the coaches have in Bueno to give him his Premier League start.
Well, you just look at Davis. Look, he's putting his trust in young players that he's worked with for a year or 2 now, and it's great to see. Look, he must think that they're ready. He wouldn't play them if they weren't. Like you said, Johnny wasn't at his best at the weekend. I think that he struggled to reach the heights that he'd got before he was injured as well, to be fair. Look, he's still finding his feet, Johnny, I think. But it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for the young lads being involved around the squad. As we touched on about Neves, just hanging around with some of the senior players. And look, he was always going to bring Collins back in, but it's a great opportunity for him. It's going to be a tough game. It's one of the toughest games we usually have, Crystal Palace on a Tuesday night. But I say, look, if you're going to play for the first team, and I've said this the other week, if you're going to play for this first team, you've got to be willing and ready to battle for this the team in any of the games in this Premier League.
Well, he's bona fide first team squad now, Hugo Bueno. He actually got onto the bench for the first time here at Crystal Palace 2 years ago. So he's had to wait an awful long time for his actual first team opportunity. Claire, you've seen him quite a bit for what was the under-23s, now in the under-21s. I mean, he scored 5 goals in his last 7 appearances at the back end of last season. He was in phenomenal form. He's an exciting player when he gets going, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's really interesting that he played here, got on the bench 2 years ago. He's still only 20 years old, so it's an incredible opportunity for him to be playing Premier League football here now. So I think he's a fantastic player. I think we saw him playing some really big games in the back end of that season last year with the 23s, a Premier League club against Albion. We saw him playing the Premier League playing as well. So he's a fantastic player. Every game that I've seen him play, he impacts the game, and he impacts it not only defensively with his work there, but also in attack. So very much like Aït-Nouri in terms of his contribution that I think he can bring in the final third. He's not only just scored goals, but also assists as well. So that'll be really key, and I can see why he'd be a great option. I'm really pleased he's getting the opportunity tonight.
Tomo, is there a hint just a hint of a selection from two guys who might not be in the job at the weekend and therefore can afford to be a bit braver than maybe other managers might have been in the same situation.
Yeah, exactly. The way that things have gone, they've looked at the results, they've looked at people in the team, and these people, like I said, these people have worked with these youngsters for a long time, and they think they're ready. They think that they needed bedding in a little bit. They've got involved in the first team squad, i.e. with the change rooms and various other elements of it. There's a reason why they've been picked in there as well. So they've just thought, okay, go out there and just show me what you can do. And that's great as a young lad, having the faith from your managers and your coaching staff that they're going to actually put them in there. And look, so he'll be saying to him now, just play your normal game, play like you played for the under 23s, keep it simple. Look, and you haven't got to do anything different. Just play your own game. And look, don't get me wrong, you're coming up against better players, but if they're going to show what they can do in this Premier League or in the first team for Wolves, they've got to go out there and perform. And like I say, it's going to be a tough game here tonight. It always is, but it's going to be nice for him. He say at least he's going to be involved. Then them flanks, because they've got two decent wingers that'll cause you problems as well.
Is there an element, Claire, whereby we might be seeing a little bit of the advancement of the changing of the guard as well? Look, we don't know what a new head coach would want to do longer term, but we saw João Moutinho come off at a key stage at the weekend, and trust being applied to someone like Joe Hodge, and now Boubacar Traoré is in from the start and Moutinho amongst the replacements. That feels like quite a big step.
Yeah, I think exactly that. I think the level of trust going into those players at that stage in the game where we had to see it through 1-0 up and we were really on the ropes at one point. We were very much under pressure, giving away free kicks in and around the box. So to go on at that point, the players should be absolutely buzzing, full of confidence that they were put into that position. They saw the result through and they get to go again today, which I think is fantastic. It's a brilliant tackle by Joe Hodge in there towards the end of the game as well. That was, breaking up the play. That's the best way. That's the best place to give away a free kick.
It was a good yellow card. It was a terrible tackle.
It was a terrible tackle.
Tackle.
At least he did it away from from our goal. That was the major bit. But huge credit to Hugo Bueno. I think it'd be fantastic for him tonight to really get the opportunity and really take it with both hands and go and show what he can do. Let's not forget, first couple of the games of the season, we had Aït-Nouri that, left us, he was at fault for a couple of the goals for the opposition player. So he should go into it full of confidence and go and take that opportunity, because I think he's an incredible player.
I was going to make a joke about Joe Hodge saying that he'd watched videos of Tomo and Keith Downing to learn how to tackle like that, but of course he wasn't even born. Such as life
You keep
moved
telling
on
me
these
that.
days.
You weren't even born. You keep telling me.
I'm younger than I appear. Let's hear from Steve Davis and his thoughts after the game on Saturday.
Steve, congratulations. Finally, that second league win of the season. What was the mood like on the touchline as the final whistle went?
It was the area at the end, obviously. The last 10-15 minutes we found it tough. They put a lot of forwards on, got the ball forward and put us under pressure. But we expected that. I think the back four held out fantastically well and we got through it. So, we sort of had a lot of control for 70 minutes and then no control for the last 20 minutes. So it was an odd time, something we've probably got to deal with better. Got to manage that situation a bit better. But for 70 minutes I thought we had good control and deserved the win really in the end.
Well, the penalties at either end of the pitch, the difference today. Ruben scoring one, Jose saving the other. I'm sure you heard the fans chanting. An incredible feat for him to save it, second one of the season, but also to be doing it with an injury. Is he still recovering from that?
Yeah, no, I think he's fine. As I say, I've just spoken before about, these things are agreed before the player goes through. With the pain, if you can cope with the pain, and then he can play. So. Jose shows some guts, determination to play and play through it, and some players can do that, some can't. So I think it's just the strength of his character that he has played through it and produced a fantastic save for us.
With your time that you spent with the players over the past fortnight, do you think today was evidence of the hard work they've been putting on in training paying off?
Without doubt, yeah. They've been fantastic. They've reacted to the stuff that we've done. We couldn't have asked for any more than they've given us in training. They've engaged well. And they've tried to follow the plans that we've tried to put in place, particularly today. I thought they followed the plan excellently today, and executed it well. And we just, as I say, when you're not winning, it's very hard to find a solution and find the way of changing that sort of momentum that can gather when you're losing. So it was just nice to be able to the fans to go away happy, like myself. I'll go away happy and have a drink later on. Enjoy the day, enjoy the moment.
How much does a win like this sort of help the team to boost them mentally now? You speak about how it is difficult to motivate at that time. Like, how much is going to boost them mentally, as well as it has boosted us up the table as well?
Yeah, I think it's just, confidence is something that comes with success and hard work. And I think if they continue on that pathway, whoever's in charge in the future, they'll pull themselves out. There's quality in the team. There's fantastic players. With huge potential. They just have to realise it and go on and do put in them sort of performances that they did for 70 minutes today. And obviously when we have to battle and it's things against us, we have to battle in that last 10-15 minutes to keep the ball out of the net. I thought we did that really well today.
And finally, Steve, you mentioned before today the impact the fans can have inside Molineux and make the difference in a game. Was that the case today?
Magnificent, as always. Yeah, fantastic. Place was rocking, I thought. I was very tempted to join in some of the singing, but obviously had to try and compose myself at the right times. But no, I thought they were fantastic. Got behind the players. When we were pushing first half for a goal, they really got behind us. Almost sucked the ball into the net themselves. So yeah, I'm just pleased for them because we're going through a tough time at the moment. But I know we'll come out of that, and they'll certainly help us come out of it, as they did today.
Well, thank you, Stephen. Congratulations again. Enjoy your celebrations.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
I hope he had good celebrations as well. He was quoted as saying that he would drive the bus or do the kit if they asked him to, just to work for this football club. And I know there's been many watching this who will have a similar feeling and know just a tenth of the feeling that he must be going through as a lifelong Wolves fan leading the team. Hopefully he's celebrating after the game tonight. It hasn't been a great run of fixtures against Crystal Palace, so we thought we might try and lift the mood and dip into the archive for the last time we beat Palace, home or away.
Early ball in towards Batshuayi. He puts the ball in the back of the net, but the offside flag will go up. Yeah. Palace with a swift move down the left-hand side.
Well, there's that counter-attack again they've got.
Cody. Again, another perfect ball out to Semedo, just 10 yards over the halfway line, trying to thread it in behind for the run of Daniel Podence. Podence now trying to hang his cross towards Neto. It came off Kouyaté. Aït-Nouri to strike it. Oh, what a start to his Wolves career. Ryan Aït-Nouri arriving at the far post, meets it and fires it into the bottom corner. Wolves 1, Crystal Palace 0. Welcome to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Dendoncker forwards, Jimenez, suddenly Wolves have 3-on-3. Jimenez to the right hand side to Neto. Neto trying to lift it into the danger zone. Podence arriving, it is 2-0. Another superb sweeping move. And Daniel Podence is there in the right place at the right time to apply the finishing touch. Wolves 2, Palace 0, and it's 2 goals in the first half as well. To the inside Palace left for Wilfried Zaha, who held off Dendoncker. Oh, now a tumble in the penalty area, and Palace are going to get a penalty kick. Patrick Van Aanholt, the man who was caught. Still Martin Atkinson is waiting for the check, and here it will be overturned.
Yeah, he's offside.
I'm not sure it would have been a penalty anyway. In towards the centre circle, and Moutinho thought he could win it. Dendoncker has done. Early one up to Jimenez. Jimenez looking to try and run towards the edge of the penalty area. Onto Traore. One touch. Traore striking. Oh. Goalkeeper parries it down, and Jimenez was too close to try and benefit. What's his decision going to be?
He studs up. It's the problem. It's not on the floor.
He's wandering away from the screen now. Going past Scott Dan. Everyone looking towards him, making the VAR signal.
I think he's sending him off.
Yep, red card is coming for Luka Milivojevic.
As I mentioned, it's not been the greatest run since then. What are they going to do differently tonight, Tomo? You've seen all those matches. What do Wolves do to win the game this evening?
Well, the biggest thing for me when you're playing against Crystal Palace, you've got to compete with them. I think that's one things that Crystal Palace do, especially at home. They'll try and get into you. They'll try and put pressure on you. and that's where we've got to show our quality. First of all, competing with them, but then our ability on the ball. I'd just like to see us tempo again needs to be a little bit higher than it has been recently. But yeah, look, it's all about competing with them for me, especially on these night games at Crystal Palace. They're always making it difficult for you. And again, so because there's no reason why we can't, because we've defended as generally, he's been pretty good. Apart from the Chelsea game and the Man City game, we've been quite tight at the back. So we just got to make sure that we compete. Can we raise that tempo? Can we get at them? And also as well, taking your opportunities. You've got to be trying to take your opportunities when they come around.
Who's going to stand out for you, Claire? Who's the key player?
I think it will probably be like, the central spine of the team. So I think you're always looking to Neves, aren't you? You're always looking to Kilman and Collins, and then up front we're looking for Costa to contribute. I thought he linked the play really nicely on Saturday, just not quite getting a chance, lacking a little bit of cutting edge, but I think he was really useful for us. I also think Adama Traore was excellent in the first half, albeit just that final ball. I mean, we come back to the similar sort of talking points, don't we? Decision making. And quality of that final ball. If we'd have got that right, we could have been 3-0 up at half time, because there were so many times we got into some great positions, but we just couldn't quite see it through. And, how good would it be today, since we haven't scored since, I think, the opening day of the season with Podence? It'd be great to go and get our second away goal today, maybe our third and our fourth as well.
Yeah, 444 minutes since we last scored away. Tomo was on holiday at the time, so Claire was with me.
It's the combination. It's the winning combination.
So if it does turn out to be a draw.
Well, Tomo, the key point is we scored, but we lost. So really, we need to try and edge that one.
Well, if we score today, then Tomo is banned from coming to away games ever again, because that's clearly
as
what
long as we win.
The jinx has turned out to be. What are you going for score prediction, Tomo?
Always going to be tough down here. I'm going to nick yours, mate. 1-0. I'm going to nick your scoreline.
Claire?
I think I was coming in for 1-0, and I really don't want to be negative and pick a draw, because both teams here like a draw, but I'm going to go 2-1 then.
Okay, I'm going to go 2-0 then. Why not? I mean, I could just go 1-0 and be boring, but we made a rule a long time ago that makes no sense, that we can't ever agree with each other, and Tomo and I would certainly never agree with each other on this, so I will go for 2-0. Don't forget, then, there is full live radio commentary from Claire and myself from here at Selhurst Park, available at wolves.co.uk and via the Wolves app. We'll hear more from Tomo at half-time and full-time in that. And we will leave you with the last time Wolves won away here at Selhurst Park. Fingers crossed we can do it again.
we are very thankful for the support they've been giving us. Once again, I tell you publicly, and I ask humbly, let's do it again. Let's support each other, because this way we are stronger.
See, the law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see, out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, balls in my heart, my city and the map. I was in the field, you're sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down on the ground, now I'm up for the fight. Seaside at the dark, now it's into the light. Out for more, down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Don't dirt when my crap stay clean. Step for me, rude boy, how you mean? Look at my jump with the verses. Clean sheet in him and I'm on a verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the verses. Death match in your family in verses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. You see out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.